Good day, classmates. Good day, ma'am. We are the group 15 from BSHM2A, and our topic is all about the pros and cons of technology. I am Maria Carol Ilustrisimo, the leader and the first reporter as well in the group. So, the learning objectives of today's discussion is to focus on the pros and cons of technology. There has been much debate on whether the effects of technology on society as a whole have been beneficial or not. Arguments are heated on both sides. But in order to truly develop your own opinion, you have to hear them both out. So first, what are the pros of technology? So the first pros of technology is that it improves efficiency for business. Things can be done almost instantly with the use of technology. Technology helps track and streamline processes, maintain data flow, and manage contacts and employee records. In fact, this increased efficiency in operation and cause a major reduce in waste, lower cost for the consumers that enables the business to grow rapidly. Second is more job opportunities. Technology has created an immense amount of new jobs in our world's economy. An entirely new group of people are needed to work with, develop, and maintain all of the new technology in homes and the workplace. Demand for technically skilled youth is increasing, and hence more jobs available for educated youth, and this can solve the problem of educated unemployment to some extent. The third pro of technology is better communication. You can talk to, video chat with, or collaborate with anybody in the entire world. You can use any communication tools such as social media and cloud-based systems to easily reach people within the workplace or family in home. This has spurred on amazing things and a better understanding of other cultures across the world through technology of computers without leaving the house or home. Last is incredible medical care. A lot of new technology is constantly being developed for the medical field. Surgical procedures and everyday functions have been made so simple and efficient. The use of medical technology tools safeguards patients, like the alerts on medications, consultations, and availability of patient data, resulting the level of sickness and accidents to decrease significantly. Let's proceed with the cons of technology. So first is the social divide. Technology is expensive, and keeping up with the latest trends is almost impossible for someone who isn't in the upper class. But this has caused a major social divide among the population of people who can and cannot afford these technologies. The social divide has especially far-reaching consequences when it comes to education. For children in low-income districts, inadequate access to technology can hinder them from learning the tech skills that are crucial to success in today's economy. Second is a generation of laziness. Through the use of technology, people are slowly but surely forgetting how to do things the old-fashioned way. You no longer have to pull out the dictionary or visit the library if you want information. You can simply type in a question and get an answer. This is also true for children. They are becoming more and more focused on things like the internet and video games, that they are spending much less time outside and being active. But this is the reality now, and it's devastating to think how everything has changed and how childhood life is supposed to be fun without technology. And the last one is quickly becomes obsolete. The more technology advances, the faster new and more efficient versions are designed. problem because you may have the newest and best piece of technology, but it will become obsolete in every little time. It is causing our landfills to be filled up with no longer used computers, cell phones, and other things that are damaging to the environment. Accumulation of waste causes air pollution that leads fatal for human beings, animals, climate change, and global warming. Now that we are done with the pros and cons of technology, let us know some important facts about technology. So over 90% of all adults have their mobile phone within arm's reach of them at all times. And the most obvious reasons seems to be addiction, boredom, laziness, or for work. While all these factors matter, experts say that adults should limit screen time outside of work to less than 2 hours per day. Out of the population of 7 billion people of the entire world, 4 billion of them have mobile phones. But this has truly affected people's social lives. People are getting more disconnected from the real world. They put their phones ahead of human interaction, and it's getting harder to see people talking to each other in public places. And here's another fun fact. The first personal computer was released in 1950 and sold for $300. And the first computer mouse was invented in 1963 and was made of a wooden shell with 2 metal wheels. It was John Engelbart who was reportedly conceived the mouse during a conference lecture in 1961, and his first design in 1963 used rolling wheels inspired by a mechanical area measuring devices called planimeters invented in 1800s. So eBay makes nearly $700 worth of transactions every single second. So eBay is an auction house and marketplace that simply facilitates the sale of goods between third-party buyers and sellers. Buyers visit the site to search for products they want, to buy from a vast array of individual sellers, and then bid on items through individual actions. And another fact is that if you can successfully hack into Facebook, they will pay you $500. Facebook launched a bug bounty program to reward the security researchers who report issues to Facebook and to encourage more people to help them keep Facebook safe and secure. No legal action is taken against the hackers, even if they successfully hack the system by illegal means, as long as they report it to Facebook. So over 1 million new domain names are registered every single month. So what is a domain name? It is an identification string that defines a realm of administrative authority or control on the internet. And what is the purpose of registering domain names? So registering allows business to have an online presence, which is a vital part in establishing their brand and legitimacy that allows you to reach a wider audience as millions of online users can now reach your website. Google search engines answer over 1 billion searches every single day. There are 40,000 Google searches every second, and the most Google search keyword is Facebook. Next is YouTube and Amazon. Now let's proceed with the cons and risks of technology. Technology is altering our lifestyle. It will alter the cognitive and social development of the current and future generations. There are many different ways in which the evolution of technology and society are connected. Technological innovation has changed our lives. Computers, smartphones, and the internet have strongly affected how we interact with other people. Many claim that they are dehumanizing our lives and making us more solitary people. More and more people are beginning to rely on technology to communicate with their loved ones, friends and associates, which has created a wall between many people globally. So the first cons and risks of technology is the weaponization of viruses. For instance, viruses such as Ebola or AIDS could be transferred into a virus that could be transmitted through the air. This could endanger or even cause the extinction of the human race. Life forms can be created through genetic manipulation. With technological progress, the techniques to create or manipulate life forms will be increasingly accessible to us. Another cause is that today, children play less with other children and spend much of their time watching videos with their tablets and playing video games. Technology negatively affects children's developing social skills, relationships, health, and overall ability to focus. This leads more children being socially awkward, withdrawing, shy, or intimidated by social situations. It's important that children spend time with others. Playing and spending time with their friends is a crucial part of all children's development, no matter how old they are. Another risk is the nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons in the hands of the wrong organizations or individuals could create enormous unrest in the world population and a serious security threat. Enrichment of uranium is becoming an increasingly cheaper process. Traditionally, the infrastructure required to produce nuclear power and build nuclear bombs was extremely expensive. Nuclear weapons produce ionizing radiation, which kills or sickens those exposed, contaminates the environment, and has a long-term health consequences, including cancer and genetic damage. So technology can be also used as an undesirable tool of control. Scientists are working to develop brain scanning machines which could allow read a person's thoughts. This would have a great benefits as could allow people with disabilities or people having suffered brain damage to communicate. Moreover, if through a magnetic resonance we could inquire criminals and terrorists, and we could also prevent harm for society. Similarly, thanks to advanced IT, it is possible to analyze the communications of millions of people and identify potential crimes and wrongdoers. Unfortunately, there is a very real possibility that technology will end up used by some governments in a draconian way. Technology makes the world a better place. It gives us the freedom to live in a better way and helps make our life easy. Technology helps in better communication. Treatment of diseases has helped reach space, and whenever you look around, it is there. Technology thus is an essential part of our lives and will also be the same, as it will be evolving day by day.
Thank you for that, Miss Trill. And for the continuation, I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of economic, social, and political globalization. So is globalization overall positive for our societies? So globalization is a process of growing exchange, interaction, and integration between people, governments, and private organizations across the globe. International trade, capital flows, migration, technological transfer, and cultural exchange are some of the typical manifestations of this process. So international trade, capital flows, migration, technological transfer, and cultural exchange mao ang pipila sa kasagaran nga nagpakita og proseso sa globalization. The encounters and relationship between ancient civilization and the colonization processes initiated during the age of discoveries were archaic and early modern forms of globalization. During the 19th century, technological progress and the Industrial Revolution catalyzed globalization. So ang pag-usbog sa teknolohiya pag 19th century ang Revolution Industrial kay nagdulot daw siya og globalisasyon. The political and economic international agreement globalization was equated with progress and economic growth and it generally supported. Susulod sa katigan, ang globalisasyon daw giuban sa pagpuswag o pagtubo sa ekonomiya o kini gisuportahan sad. However, in the last few years, an increasing number of voices have started to criticize this phenomenon and point at several flaws and dangers associated with it. The anti-globalization movement has grown. Not only left-wing anti-capitalists oppose globalization, but conservative nationalists have recently emerged as a strong force against it. So there are pros and cons of globalization. So globalization is such a complex phenomenon that here we are going to dissect each pros and cons across three different dimensions or angles. These are the economic globalization, cultural globalization, and political globalization. The first are the economic globalization. So this is characterized by a single global market of individual consumers characterized by materials and economic self-interest rather than cultural, civic, or other forms of identity. Global companies and brands contribute to global interconnectedness by shaping consumption patterns and binding economies together through complex supply chains, trade networks, flows of capital and manpower. So ang economic globalization is described as a single global market in which goods and services of one country are traded, purchased, or sold to people of other countries sa mga individual na mamalitay. So this individual consumer is a person who buys goods and services for their own interest. So there are pros and cons of economic globalization. So the pros are first, cheaper prices for products and services. So more optimized supply chain, mas barato. Better availability of products and services. Easier access to capital and commodities. Increased competition. Producers and retailers can diversify their markets and contribute to economic growth. Then next, cons of economic globalization. These are some countries struggle to compete. Extractive behavior of some foreign companies and investors in resource-rich countries preventing economic diversification. Strong bargaining power of multinational companies vis-a-vis local government. Contagion effect is more likely in times of crisis and problems of social dumping. And now, let's move on cultural globalization. So cultural globalization is the process of transmission of values, ideas, cultural and artistic expression. So in the era of the internet and fast communication, people can interact more easily with each other, leading to multiculturalism and cosmopolitanism. So multiculturalism, which means the increasing interaction of people through the growth of the international flow of money, ideas, and culture. And the cosmopolitanism, which means the concept that all humanity could and should belong to a single community. So even those who cannot control travel can have a good understanding of other cultures and meet people from other parts of the world. So people change their views and lifestyle influenced by global cultural and consumption trends. So ang cultural globalization is mauni ang proseso sa pagpasa sa mga values, ideas, culture, and artistic expression. And with the help of internet, mas kipadali ang communicate ito sa atong mga loved ones. Kay anytime, you can call them in messenger if you miss them. So mas maka-interact pa nila kaman. Then karon, if you want to share ideas and expression, we just can post it in the internet. In the internet, you can get a lot of information. Then mamariti sa tag-ahat, diba? So for example, if you know Dada, she is one of the famous TikTokers. So before she got pregnant, she always wears sexy outfit. But after she gave a birth to her child, she changed a lot. Her culture changed. She is a part of the Muslim now, and the way she dressed also changed. So if ang tao jud ma-influence, na jud tendency nga mabago siya. So mabago yung culture o ang iyang lifestyle. So there are also pros and cons of cultural globalization. So the pros are access to new cultural products like art, entertainment, and education. Better understanding of foreign values and attitudes. Less stereotyping and fewer misconceptions about other people and cultures. Instant access to information from anywhere in the world. Capacity to communicate and defend one's values and ideas globally. Customization or adaptation of global cultural trends to local environment or message. So the cons are spread of commodity-based consumer culture, dangers of cultural homogenization, westernization, cultural imperialism, or cultural colonialism. Some small cultures may lose their distinct features, and dangerous or violent ideals can also spread faster. Note the international character of the terror group IS. And now let's proceed on the last dimension of globalization. That is the political globalization. So political dimension is a newer feature of the globalization debate. As over the last 30 years, there has been a rise in the influence and power of international and regional institutions such as the European Union, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, Mercosur in South America, and the Association for Southeast Asian Nations. So these international and supranational actors increasingly shape domestic politics. So there are pros and cons of political globalization. So the pros of political globalization are it can access international aid and financial support. It contributes to world peace. It reduces risk of invasion, more checks on big powers, and limitation on nationalism. International organizations are often committed to spread values like freedom and to fight abuses within countries. Smaller countries can work together and gain more influence internationally, and governments can learn from each other. And there is also one cons of political globalization. This is state sovereignty is reduced. So that's all for my part. Please take over, Miss Rian Kyle.
Positive effects of technology on education. The prevalence of technology drastically affects many areas of society in positive ways, including education. Modern day, students not only have computers to help them with their schoolwork, they also use the internet for research, while teachers use technology to enhance their lessons. Nowadays, technology was a greatest way to use in society. Technology enhances the education because it is needed and it helps the student, not just the student, but also the teachers. They use internet to get some sources of their learnings and lessons. Technology is a big use for our society today in education because students and teachers are capable of using the internet for their educational use also help them to enhance their learnings and vocabulary in using the technology in a positive ways of using it. Globalization. When schools in different parts of the state, country, or world connect, students can meet their counterparts through video conferencing without leaving the classroom. Some sites, such as Gloveco, are used to help students learn foreign language online by pairing a group of students with a teacher from another country. Globalization is about the interconnectedness of people and businesses across the world that eventually leads to global cultural, political, and economic integration. As for the use of globalization in our society is a big help because we can meet some foreign languages online to learn with us. With the help of globalization in our country, we can communicate and learn some lessons in another country. We can learn that through video conferencing without leaving the classroom. For example, I've been part of this globalization when COVID-19 struck, and not only me but also my friends, she recommend me this kind of sites. At first, I think it's difficult to me because we don't know what really in there and who are in there, but I tried it and I thought it's hard to me to be with them, but you adjust in that state and there are lots of students learning there and also they are from another country, and as you see in there, we and some other countries studied together and learned some kind of lessons, and it was fun to be with them, to be with that kind of communication with some students from other countries. And not just that you can learn from their foreign language, but also you have a great time with them. Educational games. In younger grades, teachers expose children to computers through educational games. Instead of playing board games that focus on education, students can learn the basics of spelling, counting, and other early educational through computer games that make learning fun. Because many schools have at least one computer in each classroom, the teacher can make that computer a vital part of learning for young students. Educational games are those designed to teach people about a specific subject or a specific skills. They are made predominantly for kids and students of all ages and can be used both inside the classroom and out. Educational games are a subset of serious gaming. educational games capitalize on the highly stimulating and appealing nature of video games to enhance students' engagement and motivation. Instead of video games, try to teach them to use educational games to enhance their vocabulary and knowledge on new learnings. And educational games is one of the best ways to teach young students to explore new learnings and new things and for them to learn on their own. Supranational organization is often not democratic in terms of representation and accountability. Big countries can shape decisions in supranational organizations. Sometimes countries can veto decisions and slow down decision-making processes. Coordination is difficult and expensive. To summarize, no matter from which angle we look at globalization, whether economic, cultural, or political, both the opportunities and drawbacks are numerous. Information sheet. Pros and cons of technology and business today. Technology is everywhere. Kung asan ka. Technology is magamit siya sa kanang several employees located in different branches, or when they allow employees to telecommute from home. Like, kanang mag-virtual lang sila, like sa virtual meeting, like tayo sa katong sa company, o tayo kanang di sila magkita, kanang like mag-face-to-face sila meeting, kanang mag-hold sila meeting through Zoom or mga like gamit ang technology just sa so makasave sila money para di sila mag-commute kana. Benefit: saving time. Technology can decrease the time it takes to accomplish a task, which can ultimately save money and increase productivity. Communication speed also increases. Instead of saving a message by postal mail, using email and fax can deliver it instantaneously. So, di ba? Technology sa magamit sa saving time. Kay instead nga sa face to face ya mo hatag ko kanang iyang mga like files, pwede na siya mo send o kanang message through postal mail or email kay dali siya and makasave siya time. Drawback: dependency. On the downside, the use of technology doesn't always result in greater efficiency. Ang technology sad, ipod ka ng kitayo ka ng ang technology tipod ka ng tanan magamit kay tamang puwi ka ng upan nga di lang sa technology na magsalig. Companies that depend heavily on computer system to conduct business can come to a virtual standstill if the system breaks down. So, like, kuan ba? Like, kasi mga conduct sila mga business nga di lang sa technology sila magamit, but also to have kanang like plan ba to kanang para kita kita yung system nila magupa like kita maglagin ka sa Viso SMS, diba? O sa kanang lagi SMS usay, diba? Di ka kalagin kay na system kay na breakdown kay tungod sa kay marag full loaded or like ngana muna sa dependency. So drawback: need to upgrade. Some technologies contain features that need to be upgraded regularly, which can result in an additional expense for the company. For example, companies may need to change computer software frequently just to keep up with industry trends. Effect on customers. Technology can have both a positive and negative effect on your customers. While some customers may enjoy the convenience of paying bills online, others may see this as a possible invasion of their privacy. That's all of my part.